So really strong start for Andrew there. I think at this point, Andrew's goal against this deck is to just put early pressure on. He knows that he can knock out those Zoruas incredibly early thanks to that Jet Punch attack from Buzzwole.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key reason you play Buzzwole is to basically get early knockouts, stop them from ever getting Zoroark into play and getting that momentum up. As soon as you stop that, then you're in a pretty good position, really, to keep them down.
Absolutely. Although Igor does have some ways out of this as well. For that kind of deck, they might see Buzzwole as kind of a threat, maybe something they don't want to see. But Igor does play the one copy of the Mew EX with that versatile ability, so that could come in huge later.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of people do that. Bring the Mew EX up to the 4, copy Rioters beating and swing for essentially 240, using that type advantage.
Absolutely. Just that versatile ability is so versatile. You can copy any attack as long as it's got the necessary energy. So it can copy Riotous Beating. I've seen people yesterday copying like Sensitive Blade and stuff like that if they really had to, which was really fun. So moving forward, though, we do see Igor playing a Mallow right now. I don't know how I feel about a Mallow on turn 1. Kind of the turn 1 optimal is to try and get a Bridget and try and set up with some Wimpods and some Zoruas, but Igor just kind of has to resort to this Mallow. Maybe his hand isn't that incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can really say you've got a good hand if you're Mallowing on turn
exactly.
1. Yes, you are, of course, being able to sort out some cards and help yourself out there, but, setting up for the next turn doesn't really matter. I mean, if Andrew has any way to force him to rearrange that, then that Mallow's completely gone to waste.
Absolutely. I think another thing that Andrew and players have had to consider in general with this whole Mallow thing is if they're not using Mallow directly with that trade ability from Zoroark GX, is there the temptation to possibly use N to try to mess that up?
Yeah,
but at the same time, if Igor's hand is terrible, do you want to end? So there's kind of that really odd contemplation.
Well, you have to assume that from the Mallow, the thing he's going to put on top is a draw supporter of his own. And,
absolutely, or Zoroark GX.
Well, then he can start trading, get away with that, as we call it, bad hand, I guess.
Yes.
We have seen him select his cards and just take his time to go through the deck, so either key things are prized, or he's just wanting to make sure.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier on stream yesterday that one of the big things we're seeing from a lot of these top-tier players is being able to map out what their prizes potentially are, and that's a huge skill going forward for a lot of players. You've noticed more and more players being able to do that.
And I think with this in mind, knowing that Igor's off to a slower start, that gives Andrew a bit of a decision to make. He does have the Carbink in play already, could potentially get it up to a Carbink break, get a nice full bench, and then start using Carbink's breaked attack to get more fighting energy out. Then you're less reliant on the max elixirs, and you can really set up for a good late game if he thinks Igor's going to be sticking around.
Yeah, absolutely. We just saw a really good play from Igor. He actually attached the grass energy to Zorua and passed, realizing Zorua has that weakness. It can get knocked out by a Gem Punch immediately. Kind of throws the Wimpod up there as a little bit of a sacrifice.
Yeah, the big problem here for Igor, though, is if Andrew goes for something. We've seen him play the Sycamore, so safe from the Guzma this time.
Yeah, I mean, you have a good setup, and Igor doesn't have a terribly stellar one. I think you're fine doing that.
Yeah, you're safe to basically build up your bench, and we see him get another big Pokemon on the bench, immediately get a strong energy down on it as well. That's exactly what you want.
Absolutely. Looks like he's going to go ahead and do that Ultra Ball. Looks like he discarded a Buzzwole and a Carbink with that. Do you get the Carbink break at this point, do you think?
I mean, I don't see any reason to not.
Yep.
And if you do want a Diamond Gift, both these Buzzwole become really scary really quickly, because not only are they Jet Punching, they have access to all of their other attacks.
Yeah,
so
absorption
is
and
nasty.
Knuckle Impact and all of that. So, looks like Andrew is going to go ahead and go for that Carbink break.
Yeah, he's got the Float Stone in hand as well.
So he has the option, if he wants to Jet Punch, maybe put on some early pressure, he can do that. Or he can just go ahead and Diamond Gift if he has the necessary energy in the discard pile.
Yep, but we do see him go for another Max Elixir. This one not going to come to fruition, though. So, any energy acceleration he wants to make this turn, above, of course, his normal attachment, which is used for the strong energy, will have to be from Carbink. And it really is on Andrew now to decide, does he want to try and Jet Punch the knockout, or does he want to try and, leave it. The Wimpod does have 70 health, so he's not able to get it with the combination of a strong energy and a Fighting Fury belt, for example.
Absolutely. And it looks like Andrew is just going to go ahead and use that Diamond Gift from Carbink for one fighting, does a solid 40 damage, and allows you to attach 2 energies from your discard pile to your bench Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to be fighting type, but not really a big problem here.
because the entire deck is fighting.
Yeah, well, he does have a Garbodor line in, but you see him, the way he's played this game, it's kind of fallen in line to say, hey, it's all going to be fighting types, I don't care about the rest.
Yeah. So it looks like he decided to just attach those 2 fighting energies at the bench Buzzwole, and then kind of going on to Igor's turn, he did use that Mallow, so clearly one of the really good cards is put it at the top. I see him eyeing a Bridget, so that's potentially a good play. He can get out maybe a couple more Zoruas, a Wimpod.
Then his hand's still going to be pretty
it's
bad.
Still mediocre, yeah.
I mean, either that or he's just full of evolutions. There's one.
There's a Zoroark, okay.
Yeah.
So that's at least a little helpful. So he can play the Bridget and still be able to draw cards this turn, which I think is huge, especially for this kind of deck that thrives on finding such small amounts of like 1-ups and everything.
Yeah, well, there's the project. So he's going in, probably going to fill it up with maybe 2-0 and another wind pod, because this one's already been damaged. Try and get those in. We do see him eyeing up a Tapu Koko promo as well, so one of each.
Interesting.
A little bit of everything there. Maybe trying to get some damage down. Getting those 20s down will probably help the numbers a little bit, but I think you need more than one.
Absolutely.
On most of these Buzzwolls.
I think that sets up really good math. He can do the Coco spread, put 20 onto everything, and that sets up for really good math on the Buzzwole GX, actually, just so if you a choice band with a first impression, or not first impression, crossing cut GX, that'll be a knockout.
But also if you can get 2 down, then the first impression with the choice band is a knockout on the Buzzwolls.
Absolutely.
Of course, you have to clear off the Fighting Fury belt from one of them.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that won't be a problem for Igor. He plays 3 field blowers, so...
I think you have to in this deck. His deck, basically all in on the Zoroarks.
Yeah.
You're relying on trade, and you just can't afford to ever run into a Garbodor, get Garbotoxin, and basically be able to not use your deck.
Gotcha. So it looks like he just discarded a puzzle all the time with that trade ability. Drew himself a nice 2 cards. The puzzle discard's kind of hard, but I mean, he had a slow start, so I don't think he's really too hesitant to do that.
No, he definitely needs to be playing catch-up, but he's not. If you look at his board, there's actually no energy on it right now.
Yeah.
So that's 2 turns where he's missed his attachments. Well, he used one to retreat, obviously, but now he's missing one of his grass energies, which is a bit of a pain.
Crucial.
And he's still somewhat lacking in offensive pressure.
Yeah. So it looks like Andrew's going to attach the fighting to that Buzzwole, and a nice Sycamore for a solid 7. So this is really good for Andrew. If he can find maybe a choice band, he can start to, or not even a choice band, he can just use Absorption GX, take the knockout on the Glycopod if he wants to.
Yeah, the empty-handed Sycamore is really nice there.
Ooh, the Parallel City there.
That's really good, because then he's limiting one of the things. Igor giving up the Zorua, interesting there.
I think that's fine. I think that Igor realizes that his biggest damage output is coming from Glycopods, and so he kind of wants to preserve that wind pod so that he can do that.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a knockout coming this turn. That's no real way to work around it. You got huge attacker in the active.
Goes through that Absorption GX, flips the GX counter, and Andrew takes his first 2 prizes.
Right, I mean, fantastic play there, just to take out one of the few things that evolved that Igor had actually committed resources to get that into play, the Evo Soda as well, and it just wasn't able to do anything.
Yeah, so something interesting that Igor can do if he has the right cards for it, he actually plays the 1 copy of the counter energy and watch and learn Pseudo-Wudo from Breakpoint. So if he really wants to, he could copy that Absorption GX.
Yeah, that'd be a really nice play to see him make that.
Yeah.
If he goes for it, would be interesting. We have seen him go through the deck, and of course he has to have another way to find it. He has Mallow.
Yeah, he has Mallow and he has the trade. So if he wants to, he could put those 2 at the top if he has them.
But we see counter energy right under his thumb there, so...
Yeah, but it looks like he didn't go for it.
Well, maybe finding another way around this.
Yeah, potentially. So another option is he could just, do the flying flip and stuff like that and eventually set up for some first impression hits.
Yeah, I think setting up for the flying flip now is huge because of the nature of Andrew's very full bench.
Yeah.
If he has everything in play, which he does, basically able to say, hey, that's a lot of damage going down. Yeah, there's no way to manipulate it, but then everything becomes liable for easy, consistent knockouts.
Oh, there's a really good one there. And he's going to go ahead and use First Impression, copying that with a versatile ability, and he's going to go ahead and use First Impression for 240 damage.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter what he copies at this point.
Totally missed that play there. That's incredible. Really good play on Igor's part.
Yeah, and I think that's put him, I wouldn't say back in the game, but, very, very close to it.
That would definitely shock me if I were Andrew. That is devastating, absolutely, to get rid of one of your most energized attackers like that.
Right.
Just in 1 hit.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to fish around, try and see if there's anything that can do the requisite damage. And he's so far away from being able to knuckle impact right now with 1 energy on both of his other Buzzwole.
Right.
He needs to hit those elixirs maybe, and you see Carbink getting the energy.
Potentially. I think the interesting thing to note is that the Carbink that Andrew is playing underneath the break is the Safeguard one. So it's going to be immune from UEX's attacks.
Probably smart to just put that in, get that up into the active, and then maybe Diamond Gift again, and then you can go back to what you were doing with Knuckle Impact and all those good things.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think at this point, Diamond Gift, like you mentioned, probably the play here, and probably put 2 energy. Would you put it on the one with the Fury Belt more than likely?
Yeah, I mean, that one doesn't have the benefit of the strong energy either.
Yes.
So if you're going to give one of them up, if you're going to bring it into the active and put it up to danger, then, you'll basically be able to say, hey, at least I still have my strong energies.
Right. Now, we do see him eyeing the Ultra Ball. He does have a Trubbish on the board, so if he really wanted to, he could get that Garbotoxin Garbodor, put that Garbotoxin online, and shut off a good chunk of Igor's board right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd shut off the Mew and
The Zoroark,
Zoroark
and potentially any Tapu Lele GX that might come into play. So this could be a very good turn for Andrew if he can find it.
I think it's something he hasn't focused on early in the game, but
Yeah.
now he goes through it. You see the
There we go.
Garbotoxin come down.
Yep.
Floatstone's already on it, so no more abilities. Igor pretty much stuck with that Mew for a little bit.
Yeah, I think that Andrew kind of realized like Igor didn't have really that stellar of a start, and he just traded into 2 pieces that he needed right then and then, and now he's just kind of stuck. Like, will Igor have the pieces to respond?
Well, he has to hope he doesn't. I mean, you talked about his high field blow accounts.
Yeah.
I mean, if he has one in hand, he's drawn a good number of cards now.
Yes.
Then, I think Igor could actually eke out a bigger advantage.
Looks like he's trying to contemplate where he wants to put the fighting energy here. I can see the merits of putting it on that one. Yep, I think that'd be fine. So
Yeah, it doesn't have the benefit of the Fury Belt, but it does have the benefit of the strong energy. So both of them slightly over what you'd expect from their damage outputs.
I think that the biggest thing that that's kind of being taken into consideration is that Knuckle Impact does 160. Fury Belt plus the strong energy is going to put it at 190. So if you can just find like one more strong energy, that's a knockout on the Glycopod.
Right.
So it looks like Igor's just contemplating playing the one puzzle to rearrange the top 3 cards of his deck. I don't know. I mean, he did just burn one earlier with that trade, so...
Yeah, I mean, he's on an odd number of puzzles anyway, so, he's going to be in a position... We do see him pull out one of the GXs, rather, believed to be...
Looks like there's a counter energy there. Can't quite see what else. I don't know. I feel like if you're Igor at this point, you need to find a field blower ASAP. And
Right.
if you're unable to do that, then you can't really do much. This deck is heavily reliant on abilities.
Probably what he was looking for in that top 3, just to say, well, I'll give up this turn, maybe give up Mew at the end of it, but then be in a position to win out next turn.
Absolutely.
But without finding that, could be a bit of a problem.
So Igor does have a Guzma in hand, so he can potentially drag something up, try to buy himself some time if he wanted to do that. But at the same time, everything either has a float stone or energies.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, you don't want to bring up the Tapu Lele or the Garbodor because they'll just float stone away. If you bring up the Buzzwole, you're just going to start getting hurt.
Right. So it looks like he's contemplating if he wants to do that. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and bring up the Buzzwole with the 1 energy. Going to just promote the Tapu Koko and kind of just going to, wait it out, see if he can get what he needs. Maybe he got something he needed off of that puzzle.
Or he knows he's going to get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the same time, he does have to be careful of the N again. We've not seen Andrew punish him for those kind of setup plays just yet.
Yeah, so we do see Andrew go ahead and test the basic fighting to that active Buzzwole GX. Andrew's kind of eyeing up an N. Oh, there's a Nest Ball. That's a card we haven't seen in a while. Nest Ball, able to take a basic Pokemon from your deck and put it on your bench.
Yeah, very nice actually. In a deck like this that is so big on its basics.
Looks like he is just going to fail it, unfortunately, but the option is there.
Yeah, well, there's so many things that Andrew could be looking for in here. Just trying to set up. Maybe if you just wanted to have another look through the deck, that would be a totally acceptable idea as well.
Yeah.
Try and figure out where his strong energies are.
Looks like Buzzwole just went ahead and retreated and discarded those energy and then just put him right back on with Diamond Gift from Carbon Brink.
Right, he doesn't really lose out here as well, and that essentially makes Guzma a lost cause.
Yes, so Igor just went for a Tapu Lele GX. Part of me wonders if he has a Field Blower to get rid of the Floatstone in the Parallel City so he can play the Lele and activate the Lele.
Yeah, that would be really nice if he could get that done, but he's still got to find the field blower.
Yeah, let's see. Looks like he's just going to pass.
Yeah, this is...
Wow, this is not good for Igor.
No,
This kind of gives Andrew an incredible turn to sort of capitalize on that.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew's taken a bunch of prizes already, but now he just needs to start picking up extra ones, and I think the Tapu Koko in the way is going to slow him down, but after that, it gets kind of nasty kind of quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Andrew's kind of contemplating if he wants to even go for the Diamond Gift this turn. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and go for a Jet Punch with Buzzwole. It's going to be doing just enough to knock out that Tapu Koko with weakness. And looks like he's going to go ahead and put the 30 damage onto that Glycopod. Kind of identifies, well, Glycopod's kind of hard to knock out. Why don't we soften it up?
Yeah, he's being able to see a lot. He does finally hit the field blower, so Igor could kind of explode this turn.
Yes, he absolutely can.
And he has to get back in the game.
Yeah, definitely. And he even has the Mew EX ready on the board. And if he can get the Zoroark out of the active, he can just copy First Impression real quickly and get a really quick knockout.
Yeah, but you see him grab a Sycamore off the Tapu Lele, so probably wanting to draw through, but that does mean he's going to have to get Zoroark out the old-fashioned way, really. instead of being able to get Mew up super easily.
Yeah, so he does get the double colorless, so Zoric will be able to retreat if he wants to do that. Gonna go ahead and play Professor Sigmore, get those 7 cards. I'll have to wait and see. Ooh, do see the Enhanced Hammer on the strong energy on the bench, really crucial there.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
And trade number 1. So I think at this point, like, he is going to get the knockout here, obviously, if he wants to. The problem is that Mew is really fragile, and if Andrew just finds one more energy, that Buzzwole is going to go to Knockout City.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I don't know if he has too much trouble. Igor kind of setting up again with this counter option, though, to put the Sudowoodo on the bench. If you can come up and steal a Knuckle Impact, then yeah, you're in really good form. But Igor, that Mew has just put him so far ahead, taking those 2 really big knockouts on Andrew's Buzzwolves. But
absolutely,
he always seems to have one ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So Andrew went ahead and drew for the turn. He has a Parallel City in his hand that he's eyeing. Maybe he could do that. The problem is Igor can just get rid of a really easy Guzma target that normally would be a good knockout target.
Yeah, it's really smart that he can do that. And of course, it's been a little bit funky in the way that the game's panned out, in that he did have to knock out the Tapu Koko, and that kind of cost him essentially a double prize that he could have had a little further down the line.
Right. So Andrew played an Ultra Ball. Looks like he discarded the Parallel City and as well as a Tapu Lele, that looks like. So he's going to go ahead and fail it. I think he's just trying to thin his hand out. Looks like he had an N in hand that he might be playing, so maybe he's potentially just trying to thin out at that point.
Yeah, making sure that he doesn't draw stuff he doesn't want as he ends a lot of stuff back in.
Yeah.
We do see Igor be end down to 2 as well, though.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely huge. Even though Igor does have access to the trade, he only has 1 trade, so he's only going to be getting 2 cards off the end. He's going to have to discard 1 to use trade.
Well, he may not even be able to grab trade depending on what Andrew draws off of this.
If he can get a Pokemon tool to be able to attach to that Garbodor on the bench.
Yep.
Alright, Andrew draws 3. I didn't see a tool, but I did see a Maxi Elixir, so...
He's going for it.
Alright, here we go.
There it is.
There it is. So he can get the knockout here with Knuckle Impact. The problem is... there's that Sudowoodo on the bench. If Igor can find a Choice Band and a counter energy, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge problem for him.
But I think at this point, as Andrew, you got to start taking knockouts.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have a choice. If he leaves his Mew up, he's just going to get caught by it over and over again. 2 prizes to 1, though. This game's come really, really close.
So at this point, do you promote the Sudowoodo then?
Yes, I think you have to.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
I don't think there's any reason not to. At this juncture, you've still got abilities, so you want to keep Zoroark safe for trading. You just need to get the energy down on it so you can watch and learn and take the knockout here.
Yep, absolutely. So if Igor has access to like a Mallow or something like that, or Tapu Lele even, he can go ahead and get that Mallow, put that counter energy on top of the deck, trade it away, and ka-chow.
Yep, that's all he needs. But 2 cards to do it, it's certainly harder. You're not always guaranteed any of the cards that you want.
Absolutely.
And fishing with trades is just going to make his deck really thin really quickly.
Yeah, and Igor's kind of contemplating right now. It kind of makes me think by his, his body language, maybe he doesn't necessarily have it. Looks like he has a Guzma in hand that he could maybe play. And I don't know. I mean, he has to get an energy and knock something out that can get him 2 prizes.
Well, there's plenty of targets for it. I mean, Tapu Lele and, of course, the Buzzwole would be nice. He's forced to trade before playing anything else, though.
Disgusting. So, yeah, he just went ahead and traded away that Acerola. He does have an Ultra Ball, though, so he can go for a Tapu Lele GX if he wants to. Maybe get, like, a Professor Sycamore or something like that. And just try and draw 7 straight cards. Try and find the counter energy.
Right, if none of the cards in his hand are useful, then, yeah, Sycamore's going to be the one for him.
Looks like he doesn't have Sycamore, so he's just going to opt to go for a Cynthia.
Well, it's as good as. I mean, if his cards are useful, but not now, you want to save him for later with Cynthia, and that'd be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Cynthia, really good card we saw come out of Ultra Prism. Gonna go ahead and let him draw fresh 6 cards after shuffling his hand in. We'll have to wait and see. The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, I mean, he's really going for it. Just
yeah. I mean, if he doesn't get it, he already used his trade for the turn.
Yep.
So, if he doesn't get it, unfortunate.
These are the draw supporters that he wasn't able to play early game, though. So his deck has no shortage of them at all. He's going to be able to start taking knockouts real quick if he can get there.
Absolutely. The other thing you got to realize is that Andrew used Knuckle Impact, makes it so that Buzzwole can't attack next turn, so he needs to find a way to potentially move the Buzzwole to the bench and move it back, say, with like a Guzma or something.
Yeah, I mean, basically, a Guzma would win in the game right now, if he can locate one.
Yeah, so it looks like Igor did not hit the counter energy. Did hit a Grass Energy, though. That could be semi-relevant, especially with Crossing Cut.
Yeah, if Andrew has it,
There we go.
Reveals Guzma for game. Did you top deck that, or?
He had it, I think. It looked like he had it. He just went like boom. I don't even think he drew a card.
I saw him draw. It was like draw and throw. I was like,
oh my
okay.
gosh! All right, cool. So we see Andrew take
For
game one.
for the excitement factor, let's pretend it was a top deck.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
What a great top deck, Chris. Fantastic.
Great.
Whoa.
So we saw Andrew win game one there, but that was a really close match for sure.
Igor's start was so slow, though.
Oh, so slow. But
he does get to play first, though.
Yay! Hopefully he can maybe get a Bridget or something. So I think going forward, I think Igor probably goes for the same strategy, right?
100%.
Like not the dead drawing strategy, but like setting up like with Bridget and stuff.
Set up with Bridget, get your regular stuff on the bench, and then find an opening, drop Mew, and bring it in. He just needs to make sure that he always has a field blower in hand, because we saw him as soon as he got rid of that. His trades kept him in it.
Right.
Make sure he's got a field blower. Make sure Mew's available.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that Mew is sort of the surprise factor. You don't want to drop that too soon because out of nowhere, Andrew could get 3 max elixirs onto a Buzzwole, and just like that, Mew is gone.
Yeah, but as soon as when Andrew came up against the Mew, he had to play differently.
Yeah.
And obviously you expect to go the Mew or Mewtwo in many lists right now, and yeah, the Mew's the better choice here.
Yep, absolutely. I know some players kind of like Mewtwo a little more. They were thinking, oh, it's better with Professor Kukui and stuff, but now that people are realizing, oh, you got a reprint, it's legal. It's just incredibly versatile, and it's able to, sort of do whatever it wants.
I mean, you're stealing, 120 some odd damage. Watch and Learn's getting played, so why wouldn't versatile?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's incredibly good. Hopefully we'll be able to see more of that. And kind of thinking about Andrew's deck, do you think he kind of wants to go the aggro Buzzwole again, or does he want to maybe capitalize on something like Zygarde this time?
I mean, the last game he was filling his Buzzwoles. He hit 3 diamond gifts, I think.
Yes.
So that's a lot of energy staying in play for...
Yeah, hey, speaking of Zygarde, there it is.
Well, I mean, it's not really what you want as an opener. Its damage output is limited, to say the least. But
yeah, definitely lower than a Buzzwole GX, but it's still a decent attacker. Does have 3 attacks, though, for a non-GX, which is really nice.
The problem is you spend so long building it up, you don't want to waste resources building it up for its 3rd attack. You can get it in an interesting position, though, where you can start healing off damage with its 2nd attack. And that would be one of those moves to buy time, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do see Igor go ahead and go for the Bridget. Looked like he got a Zoroark Wimpod and a Tapu Koko. Seems pretty fine. You kind of want to have 2 Wimpods on the bench just so that you can eventually start putting on big damage with Glycopod GX.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you have access to those Wimpods. If there are Ace Rollers played, then you can, of course, lift them up. And then just put him back down and keep that first impression loop going.
Right, exactly. So we're going to see him go ahead and go for that. And then kind of looking through his deck, kind of mapping out the prizes again, which I think is fine.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 45 seconds. Why not? Get involved.
Yeah, do it. So it looks like he's going... I don't know. Didn't see the Mew on the search, so...
That might have been it, that. I mean... No, Igor, bring it back.
Come on, Igor. Come on.
He's really going over that list. I mean, definitely wanting to make sure...
Yeah,
he knows what's in there.
Yeah, from what I saw Tapu Lele's. I did not see the Mew EX, though. So if Igor prized the Mew EX this game, that's huge. That is definitely what kind of swung the game almost in his favor that last game.
Yeah, if he's missing that, he needs to start taking prizes to start trying to find it. That's what you really want.
Yeah, absolutely. So looks like he's going to go ahead, get done with that Bridget. Contemplating playing a Parallel City right now.
You've got to be careful. I mean, if you do it and then you get lands pulsed by Zygarde, you're taking an extra 20 damage.
Right,
so,
exactly. So with the combination of, strong and Fury Belt, that could knock out the Wimpod.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be so careful.
Yes, absolutely.
Although, that said, strong and Fury Belt would be such an investment on a Zygarde, of all things.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, you start with it, it's probably going to be stuck there with the 3 retreat costs. Maybe.
Yeah, it'll be stuck till it falls down.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to go ahead, play the Tapu Lele GX, search his deck for a supporter. I don't know. Maybe he's expecting Andrew to maybe play Parallel soon, and just kind of wants to get reassurance there. Looks like he's going to put a Mallow into his hand. So if he does have a Zoroark GX in his hand, he can Mallow and then just trade into those 2 cards if he decides to get with the Mallow.
Yeah, it'd be really easy. That's one of those kind of loops you want to get going early on with Zoroark.
Yeah.
Trade, Mallow, and then puzzle to time them back with all the cards you have.
Yeah, we do see the Parallel come down, which is interesting. So, gonna go ahead and
basically give over free damage to Andrew on this turn,
Basically, and especially promoting the Tapu Koko.
We see the Ultra Ball, giving away 2 fighting energies, making sure they're in there for a diamond gift a little later in the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think Andrew's hand didn't look incredibly stellar, so I had 3 float stones. So I think he probably wants to go for a Tapu Lele here for some sort of support.
Lele for N.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Or Cynthia, either or.
Yeah, I think M would be better, though, because we know that Igor did just get the Mallow and stuff like that, so we might be setting up for a Mallow play in the future.
I don't think there's any reason not to take N at this point, and that's the problem you have when you you find a supporter with Tapu Lele, but you don't play it immediately because you've already played your one for that turn.
Right, exactly. Another interesting option that I see in Andrew's deck is Lily. So if he really wanted to, draw a lot of cards, he could go for that if he wanted to. Although I don't know if that's necessarily the right play in this circumstance.
Not right now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's definitely.
He is eyeing it up to the top though, so we very well could see it right now.
Yep.
Kind of just looking at his 3 float stones and fighting energy. Yep, he's gonna go ahead and grab the Lily. Wouldn't be surprised to see him drop both of the float stones and the fighting energy in attempts to get a lot of cards off of Lily.
At least one. I mean, at least put one on the Tapu Lele.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have to see. He does get that Lily then for sure. Here we go. Gonna drop float. Maybe, maybe not.
Definitely looking at it. Definitely wants to get it in play.
Oh,
there it
he's
is.
actually gonna attach the fighting energy to Tapu Lele, which is interesting. And float stone on the Zygarde. And does he want to drop the other float stone or no?
He does need to start saving float stones for Garbodor.
Right. Yeah, it's a really tough decision then. Yep, it's gonna go ahead and just play Lily. Draw 6. Seems fine. That is a lot of energy.
Yeah, that's not ideal considering he needs it in the deck to start hitting max elixirs.
Right. On the plus side, he did find a Carbink there, so if he can find the Carbink break next turn, he will have a pretty decent diamond to give coming up.
Yep, he does just switch out into the Carbink. Knows he's going to be in a okay position if Igor just evolves everything because of that safeguard ability.
Actually, it's only for EXs.
Oh, it is EXs. My
Yeah, because it's an
apologies.
old one. It's an old one.
Where are these updates?
I don't know, man. Somewhere on the internet. But anyway, Igor's going to go ahead and play that Mallow that he got last turn. Wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe get like a Gliscod, Grass Energy, or something like that. Just because, it's clean one-hit KO on that Carbink there.
Yeah, well, it's easy money at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Basically being able to pick that up and say, hey, don't have to deal with this.
Right.
Just
Yep. Oh, there we go. So trade number 1. Does get 2 Zorks.
One of 2,
Trade
yeah.
number 2. Wow, absolutely insane. So we do see Grass Energy, we do see Gliscod, and we're going to see Igor go ahead, use that first impression, get the 120.
Easy knockout.
Easy money. So Andrew does get a Professor Sycamore. The problem is all his float stones are in hand.
Yep.
So if he Sycamores, what is he going to put on that Garbodor?
Yeah. Oh.
That's disgusting. I mean, you kind of have to at this point, but yeah, that was
It's still
disgusting.
not pleasant, and he's still just burning through resources to try and get on the board. Similar to how Igor did in Game 1. Igor's absolutely in the driving seat right now.
Mm-hmm. So Andrew goes ahead and goes for the Carbink there. Did attach the fighting energy to the Tapu Lele, and we're going to see an S-Ball this turn. So
Yep. Well, he's got to get his basics out.
Yeah.
But he's looking a little light on the old Buzzwalls.
yeah, looks like he's going to get the Drubbish down, realizing that having the 2 trades out on Igor's side is definitely a threat. Does want to shut that down with Garbotoxin in the future.
Maybe an indicator of what he has in hand.
Potentially.
Just to say, he needs it. He has discarded a number of things that are definitely helpful for getting Garbodor into play, though, and that's a problem. I think even if you get Garbodor in play now, it's still too far behind the curve to slow Igor down.
Right. So at this point, I think he's probably just going to attack with Tapu Lele. He can't bench the Buzzwole because of the bench.
Yep, he
Yeah.
sees it. He sees
they got
it immediately. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that parallel actually very important for
Yeah,
Igor there.
absolutely.
You see, Andrew's putting a lot of time and effort into, these Pokemon on the bench, these assistance Pokemon, the Garbodor, the Carbink Break. But with that limited bench space, you've got to at least give up one of those for the Buzzwole, and starting Zygarde, I think, has limited that option for him too.
Yeah, definitely. So Igor's going to go ahead and use those 2 trades. Does get a second Gliscod on the board. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Guzma on the Trubbish. Going to promote that Tapu Koko with the free retreat, and we could see a first impression come off again. Take a nice knockout on that Trubbish.
Yeah, I mean, he's just taking prizes willy-nilly right now. He's got two Gliscods that are ready to go.
Yeah.
And Andrew's just hemorrhaging kind of prizes right now.
Yeah, no, that's not good. So he does have the bench space for the Buzzwole if he does want to go for the Buzzwole.
The problem is, I mean, I've seen it a few times. Yes, he can get the Zygarde out of play, which would help, to say the least. But, if he leaves it in there, it's 2 free prizes. And if he doesn't, he's left something liable to get easily knocked out either this turn or the next.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do see him attempt to hit a Max Elixir. Unfortunately fails. I think he was trying to just get a basic fighting onto that Carbink there instead of attaching the strong energy that he had in hand. So it looks like he's just going to go ahead and attach a strong energy to the Carbink then. Put down the Buzzwole. And we see a Cynthia in hand. Going to play the Fighting Fairy Belt first, obviously. And then we're going to see a Cynthia. Going to get him a nice 6 cards. He needs to find Carbink Break, I think.
Oh, yeah, and then he can retreat into it and start diamond gifting for a little bit. That would definitely help.
Yeah.
I think for Andrew to take game 2, it needs to come in a really nice sequence. So he needs to Needs to hit everything on his max elixirs and then get Zygarde out, keep Zygarde out of the active, which is huge.
Yeah, and do we see the carbine?
It don't.
It doesn't look like it.
It's looking a little light on his loafers here.
Yeah, so he does have Max Elixir and 2 Garbodors, which would have been great if that Trubbish weren't knocked out.
Right.
Gonna see a Max Elixir. We do see the fighting.
Oh!
Might just be seeing a big Wonder Tag. I love it.
The big old Tapu Lele.
Energy Drive, X-Ball, whatever.
I mean, you can get some pretty big Wonder Tags. So
Yeah.
if you rip the supporter you need, I'd say that's a big one.
Yeah.
But all his energy at the moment is locked up on this Tapu Lele, which is still going to struggle to fight back.
Yeah, this is doing a solid 90 damage, though, thanks to that Fighting Fairy Belt.
Again, though, he doesn't want the resources there. They're all kind of in the wrong place.
Exactly. I mean, it is putting damage on, which I think is really Andrew's priority at this point. He is kind of far behind at this point compared to Igor, so he wants to put some damage on the board, I think.
Well, he's got one fight guy in play. That's the big problem is, it is a collection of fight guys, but you at least need one Buzzwole in play at all times to keep that momentum up.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in a game where we believe Igor may not have his Mew available. Mm-hmm. That's big.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge. So we do see Igor go ahead and get rid of the Tapu Lele GX for the trade. Seems like he's kind of eyeing an Enhanced Hammer at this point, maybe trying to get rid of that strong energy on that Carbink. So, I don't know. He's playing the Mallow, though. Going to get himself 2 cards. He does have 1 trade left to him, so whatever he puts on top, he can't get those cards. If he
Yeah, Mallow and trade just literally means you can pick up cards whenever you need them, which is really, really nice.
Yeah,
it's definitely an undervalued play. I think more people picking up on it as the format progresses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put yourself in a really nice position to just always be able to say, hey, I'll give up my supporter to draw 2 cards of my choice.
Yeah, I mean, that seems fine. So, looks like he's going to go ahead, get his 2 cards, kind of just look through his deck really quick, maybe see if there's any other options that he wants to go for. What would you expect him to see? I would expect to see maybe, like, if he has a Choice Band or a Field Blower in hand, something that can get him a knockout with a Crossing Cut GX this turn.
Right, I mean, he could have easily just grabbed Choice Band and double colorless energy.
Yeah, he'll need to find a Field Blower to get rid of his own Parallel, because it's reducing his damage, and that Fighting Fury Belt that's on Tapu Lele.
Yeah, well, we do see the Field Blower traded away, actually, by Igor, so...
Ew. Maybe he has another in hand? I don't know. Or maybe he has a different plan.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to go ahead and look through Andrew's discard.
I mean, we know he's already played his supporter, though, so he can't even be goosering up the Zygarde.
Right, exactly. So, I don't know. I'm sure Igor will come out of nowhere with something, just like he did with me last game.
There's a few, I mean, I don't think there's any reliable ways he can do it this turn. There it is, the Field Blower.
There we go. Alright, so if he has Choice Band DCE, that is a clean Crossing Cut GX knockout. Oh, the Enhanced Hammer as well. That's big.
Yeah, he's in a really good position right now. There's Choice Band.
And I think I saw double colorless.
Holding it. There's double colorless.
There we go. And Andy's going to go ahead and scoop, and we're going to game 3, ladies and gentlemen.
It's pretty hard not to have the correct cards when you have Mallow.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's difficult to not be able to pull the right thing.
Yeah, and it also hurts when you have to discard all your float stones and energies as well.
Yeah,
not being able to get them back.
They're important, especially in a deck that has a Pokemon that relies on a tool card.
Yeah, just a little. So I think going into game 3, Andrew needs to capitalize on getting big Buzzwoles really quick.
Yep.
Because that was what won him game 1. Just really big Buzzwoles, really big attackers, kind of maybe using Diamond Gift here and there to kind of power them up. But I mean, if you can get those,
I think charge one up and then weave in Diamond Gifts to keep the back ones going. Because it's a commitment to put 3 energy on one of these.
Yes, Diamond Commitment. I was going to make a gift pun there, I'm sorry. But, so, kind of going over to Igor's side.
It's like advertising for a jewelry shop. Make the Diamond Gift Commitment.
He went to Jared. Something like that.
He went to Andrew Mahone. And
oh my gosh.
I don't
for
see
some
it.
fight jewels. All right.
That's something entirely different.
Yeah, sorry. No, but I think going toward Igor, he needs to I think he needs to save space for the Mew EX, because I think he knows that Andrew wants to go
It's
for those
easy
big
to
fight
save
guys.
space for it when it's not in your prizes.
I know.
That'll get... To be fair, though, I mean, that was actually the perfect game for Igor's Mew EX to be prized.
It really was.
Because we didn't see any Buzzwole.
Because we didn't see any Buzzwole, right?
Yeah.
We saw, like, Carbings and a Zygarde that probably wouldn't have come out in this matchup otherwise.
Yeah, so... I think everything kind of fell in line for Igor there. Like, he was missing a piece that he didn't need, and Andrew didn't have all the pieces he needed in the right order, so...
Right. So...
Pretty comfortable.
Yep. Anything could happen at this point, though.
I do think it's a very even matchup.
It really is, for sure. It's all dependent on who gets what set up. Because I know Igor's is very dependent on stage 1 setups, whereas Andrew's is relying on those max elixirs, to get those energies going onto those big Pokemon.
Yeah, you've got to hit 1 or 2 early max elixirs if you're Andrew, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Make sure it's not in hand. Make sure you don't discard it all, because otherwise you're forced to play a different game.
Yep, absolutely. And I think another big thing that's going to come into play for Igor as well is you saw that Crossing Cut GX was incredibly good against all those Pokemon. So I think if you can capitalize more on Crossing Cuts, he might be fine.
Yeah, get a nice, as he saw to end the game, get a nice first impression in, bring it forward, deal all that damage, and then the following turn, Mallow, maybe just grab Choice Band, DCE, on you go.
Exactly.
It's a lot of damage, a lot
of damage and a lot of time, but sometimes that's how it is in the Pokemon trading card game.
Yep.
So I think we'll be going to the match in just a second, but a couple other things I want to point out. Do you think that Andrew needs to put more Garbodor online, unlike last game? Because he wasn't able to get one at all.
Yeah, I think it helps. Forces Igor. It was really good in game 1 because Igor didn't get off to a good start. Yeah. So that punish was even more powerful. Mm-hmm. But I think now, if you can get Igor into position, maybe early on in the game, where he's forced to get his field blowers out a slightly different way. Like, you can Mallow them and then have to draw them next turn. He's still a turn behind.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that just Garbodor in general is just going to be really good against this, just because it's so, ability reliant and all of that.
Right,
shutting off Mew EX, which is an absolutely huge threat against Andrew. So, looks like we're going to go ahead and... Oh, the Zygarde again.
Yeah,
man.
The Zygarde in the start, once more for Andrew.
Dang.
Tapu Koko on the bench this time for Igor, along with the Wimpod.
Yeah, wow.
He's looking pretty... just the hand gestures and the body language.
He doesn't seem very thrilled with it at all.
Yeah, you see his hand, it looks like it's 2 Guzma, 2 fight energy. Yes, he has an Ultra Ball.
He has Ultra Balls, so he can definitely get something at this in this turn if he wants to. I don't know. Either a Carbink or a Buzzwole would probably be fine. I think he's kind of contemplating, though. Like, he's got a lot of resources. Which one does he want to discard with the Ultra Ball?
Right, and there's so many valuable things. Like, Guzma is going to be huge late game to pick up those Zoroarks and knock them out with big Buzzwoles. Yeah. I was like, Buzzwoles, Zygardes, maybe if you went all in for a Land's Wrath. I don't think I've ever seen somebody go in for a Land's Wrath.
Oh, not since, 2016.
Cellstorm at a push.
Yeah, gosh, no.
Cellstorm's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not good either.
Buzzwole's really good, though. So, it looks like Andrew's really just contemplating his Ultra Balls.
He has to.
He really has to. There's so many resources. I think at this point, though, you don't want to get rid of those Guzmas, but you don't want to get rid of those energies too fast. So, so he's going to play Ultra Ball. Does get rid of the Guzma of the fighting energy. I think that's an even trade-off, so he doesn't have to get rid of 2 of the fighting or 2 of the Guzmas, for sure.
Right. Keeping a lot of things in check. Very boisterous discussion between the players, though, in this one. Obviously, clearly good friends and just getting into this game in the best way possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen a lot of the matches this weekend just being a lot of friendly banter, just like last round. So
yeah.
So we do see Andrew just go ahead and go for the Trubbish. I think that's fine. I think since you're going first, you do want to get the turn 2 Garbotoxin online. Oh, and another Ultra Ball, getting rid of another fighting energy and another Guzma. Is that all of his Guzma?
It's going to come close. It's actually leaving him. No, he does have more in the deck.
All right.
I mean, you've given up 50% of them.
Yeah, that's definitely not good. I think he definitely wants to get the... Trubbish is fine, just because he wants to get the Garbotoxin, just because, Igor's going to have a turn, and then if Andrew can get Garbotoxin and, say, a Pokemon Tool, Igor won't have any abilities that are relevant for the entire game until he can find a field blower.
Actually doesn't... we talk about discarding Guzma, and he's played N as well, but he doesn't have the best card in the game right now to recover those supporters.
Right.
Doesn't have the Palpad.
Doesn't have the Palpad, unfortunately. Fortunately, neither of these players are playing the best card in format called Palpad. But, maybe we'll see it later.
If we say it more, people will believe us.
Yes, absolutely. Like I said yesterday, I have to buy a playset. I bought a playset.
Well, when you discard your supporters early on.
When you got so many pals, you need some pads. All right, so we do see the end here. Andrew's going to go ahead and draw 6 cards. Igor's going to get 6. Obviously, since the beginning of the game. So... I don't...
It's another Guzma in hand, I think, for Andrew, and now is not the time for them.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's not the time for that.
We do see a Floatstone, which is interesting. If he's got another draw supporter, he can have access to a Garbotoxin pretty quickly, which is really nice. So, we see him just pass. I think he's just content at this point. And Igor gets the Bridget. Really nice. So.
Yeah, doesn't even have to Lele for it.
Yeah,
no Ultra Ball, no Tapu Lele, just Bridget in hand.
Yeah, and that's definitely good so that it keeps one other really easy GX target for these really powerful fight guys to be able to take knockouts on. So, Do you see him go for two Zoroas? Kind of debating if he wants to go for a third or if he wants to go for a wind pod. I think he's just going to go for the third Zoroa.
Yeah, I mean, if it is going to come to the point where he knows that Garbotoxin is going to come online, he needs to be able to maximize out on every turn he can trade. So every turn after a Field Blower, you want to be able to just triple trade, or at least double trade.
Absolutely.
So it makes sense to flood your bench with a Zorua. Not only are they a good attacker, but on the windows of opportunity you get, if you have all three of them in play and you hit a Field Blower, that's 6 cards, you're probably going to pull something off it that you also need.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do see him just go for the 3 Zoroas then. I think at this point, if he has the opportunity to do Flying Flip, I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, these Pokemon aren't exactly the biggest. Doesn't Flying Flip, but just gets it into the active slot.
He does have the Carbink Break, which is really good. Gets the Float Stone on the Trubbish. If we can get a Fighting Energy and another Float Stone, we could see a Diamond Gift this turn.
Yeah, Diamond Gift would be lovely. There's the Fighting Energy.
Yeah, alright.
We do see
Professor
Sycamore.
Ooh. Alright. I think there was a second Carbink that he discarded as well as the Cynthia and Trubbish. It just kind of depends. We do see the Float Stone. Do we see the Garbodor?
No. We see a Buzzwole, though.
Okay, that's good. And he has a Max Elixir in hand, so he can start doing some things.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be very, very nice if he can start fishing. You know he's got one of the strong energies in hand as well, so he's going to be able to avoid that.
Ooh, Parallel City. Huge.
That's really nice. He cuts down on the potential Zoroark trades.
Yeah, very good.
Only 4 new cards a turn. I say only, that's absolutely insane.
That's actually really good. So,
would you like 4 cards for the price of 2?
Oh, perfect. What a good trade.
How about if you've built your deck, especially to be able to trade away cards that aren't useful late game?
Oh, that's so good. All right, we're gonna see. We're gonna see Andrew go in for a Diamond Gift here. Gonna do 40 thanks to that weakness on Tapu Koko. And I thought I saw. Oh, there are 2. Okay, so he's gonna put the 2 on the Buzzwole.
Discard them in the Ultra Balls early on.
Gotcha.
Knew all about it.
Yeah, perfect. So, if you're Igor at this point, you probably want to get rid of that Parallel City.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I saw a Field Blower in his hand, if I see it correctly, so he can get rid of that if he wants to. Probably get rid of the Float Stone on the Trubbish too, just so that makes Andrew have to try harder to go ahead and get that Garbotoxin.
This man absolutely loves his Field Blowers, and I think in a meta game where a lot of people have been dropping the Field Blowers, or at least lowering the counts, to show how powerful it is, especially with people now relying on these shorter 2/2 lines of Garbodor.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like Igor might be contemplating an Ultra Ball. Not sure what he wants to discard at this point. It looks like he has a lot of resources at hand. He's not sure what he wants to do.
I mean, now's the time to start trading. So
yeah, absolutely. So he's going to go ahead and get rid of it. Looks like a Float Stone, and I can't even see. But I think he definitely wants to go for a Zoroark GX at this point. Like you mentioned, just getting the trades going is just absolutely crucial to this deck's setup. So, yep, looks like he's going to get rid of the Float Stone and the N. So, wouldn't be surprised to see a Zoroark here. Yep, going to go ahead and see Zoroark GX come down. Looks like he's got more shenanigans in hand. Oh, there's a Mallow. All right, so you are going to go ahead and search his deck for 2 cards, put them on top of his deck, and then he's just going to trade right into them.
Yeah, so. I mean, that's the ultimate play. Maybe able to grab Field Blower. Oh,
perfect. I saw a Golisopod and a Grass Energy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he wants. Maybe he's already got Field Blower in hand.
That is pretty decent. The thing you have to watch out for is that Buzzwole on the bench is getting real buff.
Yeah, and I mean, you can knock out Carbink.
And take 1 prize.
Yeah.
Oh, trades the Mew. So
clearly not scared of the Buzzwoles in the back.
Yeah, I think he's fine. I mean, he has the puzzles of time to be able to recover that. So
yep.
I think he's comfortable doing that.
There it comes.
Ding! And we're going to see a first impression for a solid 120.
And the knockout.
Perfect. So Andrew's going to go ahead and start. Do you see Fighting Fury Belt? That could be huge. I'd definitely put that on the Buzzwole. So can't see the rest of his hand. He's kind of flapping it like a Flappy Bird.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, a flappy fight guy. I tried.
I mean, the big thing here is getting the damage out on Buzzwole this turn.
Yeah.
We've seen Igor's taken his first prize, and it's going to start picking up from there, really.
Right. And I know that he has the strong energy in hand, so he can definitely Absorption GX this turn if he wants to. That'll get the clean knockout on that Golisopod.
Right, yeah.
And I think he definitely wants to put the Fighting Fury Belt on there, too, just to sort of ensure that extra HP, keep it out of really awkward range of some certain knockouts.
All his eggs right now, though, are going to be on the...
That's a really interesting play. He's going to go ahead and Guzma the Zoroark GX. I think he realizes that Zoroark GX is really Igor's draw at this point.
Yep, I mean, that's going to be the thing. He does get the regular fighting energy down.
Right.
Going for Max Elixir.
Max Elixir.
There it is.
Oh, man, not on the Trubbish. So, going to put the fighting energy on the Zygarde did I just say GX? That's not,
EX.
That's not for a while. I'm going to put it onto the Zygarde EX then.
Coming soon to a new set near you. Zygarde GX!
I don't even know what that card does. But anyway, he's going to go ahead, use the Absorption GX.
I think that's the right play.
That's perfectly fine.
Get rid of Zoroark.
And force Igor to have a response other than Golisopod.
Problem is, if he brings up Golisopod, he's just going to get really hurt.
Yeah, I mean, he can bring Tapu Koko just because it's got the free retreat. So, I'm going to go and see. There's a Mallow, so he can put 2 cards on. The problem is that he doesn't have a Zoroark.
Yeah, he can't access him right now. But maybe just acknowledging Tapu Koko get knocked out this turn, and then be able to draw into something the next turn that he really needs. Doesn't he have one more spit?
Oh, he does have a Zoroark in hand, so he's going to go ahead and trade.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a big one.
That's juicy.
That is very juicy.
Yeah,
Sudowoodo and the counter energy that we were mentioning earlier. Sudowoodo's got that wonderful attack Watch and Learn that you can use the attack of your opponent that they used last turn. So he's copying Absorption GX, has to flip that GX counter over, and wow.
That's a lot.
That is really good. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was the play, and that was probably the play that he was looking around with the Mew and saw that the Mew gave up 2 prizes and was like a return knockout on the Buzzwole. He could do exactly the same thing with Sudowoodo and only give up 1 prize. So, you've got to say that Igor's in the driving seat right now. There's no other way to look at this game. There's so little on the bench at Andrew, who's gesticulating pretty wildly again.
Yeah, right.
So it's time.
Yeah, so gonna go ahead and bunch the Buzzwole GX. See a Fighting Fury build and a Strong kind of peeking out of his hand. And he has a Nest Ball. He doesn't really have any other draw at this point, which really isn't good. So from here, I don't know what he can do. He can, do some Jet Punches, but that's about it.
He needs to get that into the active and get the Jet Punches streaming again, though. The Jet Punches would be nice. They'll start wearing down on things, and I think softening up the Golisopod and the Zoroark on the bench would be nice.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
At the same time, it's kind of a problem in that he's going to take a while to get through this Sudowoodo.
Yeah, this is definitely iffy. Yep, just going to go ahead and put the Strong Fury Belt. Going to go ahead and do a solid 60 damage to that Sudowoodo. And it looks like he's going to put 30 onto the Tapu Koko, actually.
Yeah, maybe looking for one of those turns where he can take 2 knockouts in a turn without knocking out a GX. It's definitely an option.
Oh, there we go. Guzma is going to come up, and Zygarde is weak to Grass, unfortunately, so we are going to see a first impression knockout. And the Max Potion on the Tapu Koko, kind of foiling anything that Andrew could have done.
That looks pretty much to be there.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And there we go. And it looks like got the Guzma. And, yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Igor just took the series.
Yeah, the quickest ending. It really wrapped up nice and quickly there after game 1.
Definitely a really quick game for 2 decks that generally take a little bit more time to set up than others.
Yeah, but I mean, I think in both games 2 and 3,